Avoid and rule. Selective sociality is a psychosocial skill for enhancing psychosocial health in a digitally socialized world. The construct of mental health has been viewed differently in history. Starting from Aristotle, who viewed mental health as happiness, several theorists have been trying to elaborate the concept of mental health differently, such as the attainment of the purpose in life, the gratification of human needs, the satisfaction of human desires, a harmony between the desired and the achieved goals, etc. Several researchers have also been of the opinion of defining mental health in a wider subjective perspective. The psychodynamic perspective emphasizes the role of pleasure principle, and views mental health as the inner balance between id, ego, and superego. The cognitive theorists focus on healthy cognition to attain mental health. The social theorists emphasize on the role of social learning in mental health. Several theorists have tried to construct the idea of mental health by presenting different clinical models. Each of these models was based on certain interlinked psychosocial factors which could be considered mental health. Newgarden tried to form mental health by involving self-concept, congruence, zest, resolution, and mood tone. Riff and Singer included the elements of personal growth, self-acceptance, purpose in life, environmental mastery, positive relations with others, and autonomy to construct mental health. Keyes and Associates chose self-acceptance, personal growth, personal control, happiness, quality of life, positive effect, purpose and meaning, environmental mastery, positive relations, and morale to build the concept of mental health. Deci and Ryan considered competence, relatedness, and autonomy as parts of mental health. Kiefer concluded mental health as a sum of physical, mental, social, and environmental well-being. Similarly, Linley and Associates regarded mental health as a combination of physical, emotional, mental, social, economic, cultural, and spiritual health. Sang proposed emotional awareness and regulation, interpersonal communication, positive affect, and personal adaptation as components of mental health. Apart from its definitional ambiguities, mental health is considered extremely important to live a happy, satisfactory, and meaningful life. Researchers who are related to health and well-being have been constantly focusing on the importance of mental health in every pursuit of human life. Studies have revealed several alarming facts and figures on mental health, such as the prevalence of mental disorders in almost half of the world population. People in many parts of the world still associate a social stigma with mental health-related issues and stay reluctant to seek professional psychological help. It is extremely difficult to certainly declare what actually improves mental health in our times. The literature on the correlates and predictors of mental health is highly vast, but confusingly scattered. Studies have come up with a long list of the factors involved in the enhancement of mental health, such as adequate physical health, physical exercise, contact with water, a satisfactory body image, being married, sexual satisfaction, self-esteem, social intelligence, positive attitudes, responsible decision-making, self-awareness, extraversion in personality, psychological resilience, positive thinking, optimism for future, healthy family relations, social support, financial stability and job satisfaction, possession of a good living environment, and plenty of other psychosocial factors as well. Apart from the scientific opinions, people also utilize their self-made strategies to improve mental health. The recent past has seen a paradigm shift in defining mental health. Psychologists have shifted from the diagnosis-based definitions to the person-focused definitions. The mere absence of mental disorders has been added with several other constructs that project mental health, such as the social and environmental factors related to mental health. Mental health has been regarded as a multi-dimensional framework and a capacity of a person to reach maximum growth, to maintain positive relationships, to adapt socially well, to work effectively and creatively, and to serve the community. Mental health has been regarded as a lifelong process instead of an ultimate outcome. Literature also suggests that the concepts of mental health, wellness, happiness, well-being, satisfaction with life, quality of life, have been used interchangeably. The construct of psychosocial health is the most recent alternative to mental health. It involves and combines 7 interlinked dimensions of mental health under a single label of psychosocial health. These dimensions include socio-environmental, emotional, sexual, cognitive, religious, moral, and spiritual. The world we live in now is highly influenced by the massive spread of information technology and globalization. Internet is used by billions of people worldwide, and almost half of the world population have smartphones. Online socialization through social media is a routine for many people. Apart from the positive and constructive usage of the Internet, studies have also established the adverse influence of Internet and social media engagement on human behavior, such as Internet addiction, nomophobia, dependency on social media, fear of missing out, etc. People believe to gain more social acceptance by more engagement through social media. The social aspects of a person, therefore, are apparently the most important variables for mental health. These factors mostly include social integration, social events, social environment, social acceptance, social actualization, social coherence, social contribution, social satisfaction, social comparison, public opinion, self-evaluation, inferiority and superiority complexes, quality of relationships, and fear of missing out in social media engagement. What others say has become extremely important for many human beings. People desire to boost their sense of belongingness to social groups through online modes of communication. Likes and dislikes of others have been regarded unnecessarily important and affect one's mental health in a positive or negative way. A vast majority of people adhere to social norms blindly, without knowing the rationale and effects of social trends. Unwise and illogical social compliance leads to several unhealthy consequences. People conform to social norms even when it is opposite to the visible contradictory facts. A series of 5 consecutive studies by Dr. Sukoon emphasized the positive role of selective sociality in a digitally transformed world. Dr. Sukoon presented selective sociality as a new construct in psychology. Selective sociality, as operationally defined during his studies, is a psychosocial skill to approach or avoid a person, situation, or content with a genuine intention to enhance psychosocial health. The series of 5 consecutive studies involved 1325 participants and dealt with developing and validating this new construct, as well as correlating it with mental psychosocial health. Sukoon's selective sociality scale was developed and validated during the series of the aforesaid studies. The scale reflected 7 factors for selective sociality. These factors sensitize a person to be psychosocially skillful to incorporate the principle of selective sociality in talking, friendships, family relations, public dealings, internet surfing, being alone, and watching TV. The studies established statistically significant positive correlations of selective sociality with psychosocial health and its sub-components, i.e. socio-environmental health, religious health, emotional health, cognitive health, moral health, spiritual health, and sexual health. The same correlation was retested with 2 other similar constructs, i.e. psychological well-being and mental well-being. Selective sociality had significant positive correlations with psychological well-being and its sub-factors, i.e. autonomy, environmental mastery, personal growth, positive relations, and self-acceptance. Selective sociality also had significant positive correlation with mental well-being. The same correlation was retested from another opposite dimension in which selective sociality revealed significant inverse correlations with depression and stress. These findings revealed that selective sociality is not only a significant correlate to the enhancement of mental health, but it also has the tendency of getting rid from depression and stress. Understanding and practicing selective sociality require valid and comprehensive knowledge of the pros and cons of conformity and compliance to social norms. Social norms are the rules and values of a society which are understood and followed by people. People start learning social norms from their childhood, mostly through electronic media. The role of parents is also crucial in this regard. Learning social norms is a lifelong process in which people learn these norms by observing other people and social environment. The important and already known people influence a person more in learning and following social norms. People follow social norms to get social acceptance, to gain social rewards, and to be positively affiliated with the society. They want to avoid social rejection and punishment. Religion also plays an important role in making people comply to social norms. Researchers claim that individuals, while talking to other people, subconsciously change their non-verbal behavior and style of speech in accordance with the style of speech and the non-verbal behavior of the listener. Social compliance is referred to following social norms, especially the ones ordered by authorities. Social compliance influences people and change people's attitudes, personalities, and behaviors. Conformity to social norms is another term for the same social influence which also changes a person's opinions, attitudes, and behaviors to be in line with the society. People from collectivistic cultures follow social norms more than people from individualistic cultures. Men and women respond to social norms differently as they are given a different social status by societies. In most of the Eastern cultures, social norms associate women to the household responsibilities and men are considered in the leadership roles. Social norms prohibit men to cry and express their vulnerability. Adolescents, children of less educated parents, and married women are more likely to confirm social norms. Conformity to social norms is one of the causes of domestic violence as well. Women are socially more compliant as compared to men. Social compliance is more prevalent in collectivistic and Eastern cultures. Social compliance improves mental health in religiously active societies. Social compliance has been regarded critically important, beneficial, and noble to live a social life. It is thought to resolve conflicts among groups. Social compliance has the power to distinguish unique human behaviors from the usual human behavior within a society. Social compliance has adverse psychosocial effects too. It has varying effects on mental health. Social compliance can result in several adverse consequences. People having unique and contradictory ideas usually suppress their thought due to social compliance. Following social norms also indicates that people are usually not so creative to deal with a specific situation in a way other than the already prescribed by the society. People are lost and don't know what to do elsewise except following social norms. Social compliance makes people ignore their own consciences. Children violate the ethical codes due to peer pressure. People may reduce the amount of charity to the average amount given by others. The pressure to follow social norms against one's personal beliefs leads to disturbance in mental health, depression, anxiety, and dependent personality styles. Locus of control is a relevant phenomenon in this discussion. It refers to a person's perceived capacity for controlling the circumstances. Locus of control can be internal or external. People with internal locus of control believe that they can control their lives and events. On the other hand, people with external locus of control emphasize on the external forces in controlling their life events. The earlier literature has associated an internal locus of control with a more active pursuit of valued goals, an interest of information seeking, alertness, autonomous decision-making, and a sense of well-being. Furthermore, studies in the past have regarded people with external locus of control as more depressed, anxious, and less able to cope with stressful life experiences. Extraversion and introversion are also the similar labels given to people with external or internal locus of control. Due to the undue importance given to social interactions in today's technologically advanced world, the introverts and the ones who are not comfortable in doing what others do are socially ostracized. It is a false perception that the introverts don't experience happiness. The quality of experiencing happiness by introverts differs from the extroverts. Studies reveal that the introverts experience better mental health and well-being by avoiding unnecessary social interactions and relationships. Moreover, shyness has also been falsely associated with the introverts. Shyness and introversion are different constructs in fact. People who are shy fear social situations and negative judgments from others. Introverts, on the other hand, do not fear negative judgments from others. They rather prefer unsociable activities and quiet environments for their mental peace. Emotional stability has been regarded as a strong predictor of happiness and well-being, and introverts have been described to be more emotionally stable than extroverts. Solitude has been strongly correlated with creativity and spirituality, and introverts prefer solitude over social interactions. Excessive social linking or sociality has been considered oppressive, whereby solitude has been linked with self-enhancement, spirituality, and better mental health. Introverts do not make impulsive decisions and have better decision-making skills than extroverts. By staying quiet and calm in a world of talkative and social extroverts, the introverts experience a better well-being. Avoiding toxic people, situations, and unnecessary social interactions can bring more pleasure to one's life and enhances mental health. The understanding of avoidance and escape from problems also requires a situationally valid understanding. Avoidance has been taken both negatively and positively. People choose positive stimuli from the environment and avoid negative stimuli. In many situations, they find contentment in ignorance and avoid engaging in unpleasurable tasks. The avoidance-motivated people, in contrast to the approach-motivated people, conserve their energy more by carefully selecting situations for exerting their cognitive efforts. Selective exposure and selective avoidance belong to cognitive dissonance and help individuals to avoid mental tension and gain more peace. Avoidance also involves unlearning, which is an important factor in the enhancement of mental health. Learning is a change in behavior. Unlearning helps in learning as it discards the outdated knowledge and behaviors to accommodate new information and to relearn. The management of cognitive bias in psychotherapy also involves repeated approach avoidance actions for reducing the undesired behaviors. Avoidance of negative experiences and failures of the past is also considered fruitful for professional success. In today's digitally globalized world, it is quite important for a person to stay selective in choosing and avoiding information based on his personal intelligence. Survival of the fittest has also been perceived as selected avoidance. Selected avoidance is viewed as a method to be the fittest, at least in the social context. The evolutionary psychology supports the notion that species evolve to sustain certain behaviors and traits which help them in survival and reproduction. Rape avoidance, for example, is an evolutionary behavior which women develop to avoid situations where they may become victims of rape. Social intelligence is another important factor in predicting and interpreting human behavior in different social contexts. Social intelligence also involves selective avoidance. People with higher social intelligence avoid unnecessary social interactions, can persuade others, and are aware of the intentions, feelings, and weaknesses of others. Being capable of selectively isolating from and interacting with people reflects higher social intelligence and is helpful for the psychosocial well-being. Deviance from social norms can also be positively correlated with mental health as it suits the way to change the existing social norms in one's favor. Avoiding rigid cultural norms and engaging in social tasks selectively can bring mental peace and a sense of ruling one's own life. To conclude, selective sociality is a psychosocial skill to approach or avoid a person, situation, or content with a genuine intention to enhance psychosocial health. Selective sociality requires a person to be psychosocially skillful to incorporate the principle of selective sociality in talking, friendships, family relations, public dealings, internet surfing, being alone, and watching TV. The current paper has established significant positive correlations of selective sociality with psychosocial health, psychological well-being, and mental well-being, and significant inverse correlations of selective sociality with depression and stress. Based on the knowledge shared by Dr. Sukoon, it is highly recommended to the mankind to be cautious of the adverse psychological consequences of excessive public relations, irrelevant use of internet, and unnecessary consumption of electronic media. Avoid and rule is a slogan presented in this regard whereby people are sensitized to be selective in sociality. One must determine the most significant personal and social relationships that are really important in life, give importance to these most significant people, and avoid unnecessary interactions with the rest. Craze to have vast public relations to gain socioeconomic benefits needs to be converted into the belief in one's abilities and merit to secure the deserving status in life. Similarly, the consumption of internet, social media, and electronic media must be controlled for the relevant usage only. It should not be made such a habit which creates dependency and leads to occupy the mind with information that is of no relevance to the actual happenings of life. Determining a higher purpose in life and focusing more on the personal and emotional aspects of life can bring more happiness and satisfaction. The psychotherapists, psychiatrists, social media influencers, and health-related policy makers should educate the masses in this regard. Thanks for listening. To read the entire paper, kindly visit www.dersakoon.info.